Who's ready to go running? Folks, this one should be a banger. Welcome to Prepper Nation. I am John. Thank you very much for being here, for watching, for liking the video, for subscribing to the channel. It's truly appreciated. This is the rundown. I don't even remember what episode this is without double checking because we've done this for what, a week solid now? Something like that. This is the rundown. This is your show, folks. This is where I sit here and I go over the most popular comments from the live chat this morning, which was on fire, let me just say. And the replay crowd was getting rowdy as well. That's why I said it should be a banger, okay? So anyway, let's jump right into it this morning. This morning we were talking about the strong potential that Michelle Obama is going to replace Joe Biden and be on the ticket for 2024, and that Democrats have known this for a long time. They're playing the long game uh, because, again, they don't want Trump in office. And scary scenario, you know. Again, sorry about the clickbaity stuff this morning and the fear porn, but I was trying to draw eyeballs in because I want people to be aware of this. And I understand it's been talked about for a while now. This is not brand new news, but again, Ted Cruz, highly connected in Congress. Ted Cruz, not only saying it's a possibility, but it's very, very likely. Now he's trying to warn people that this is coming. So the live chat crowd, Jim Shady, got a feeling Kamala will be kicked to the curb. I do too. I look at a ticket with Michelle Obama and Gavin Newsom, and there are a lot of reasons, Shady, that that's a dangerous ticket, but one of the biggest is they both can talk. They both can talk a big game on camera. You look at Joe Biden, the guy can't talk on camera. I mean, seriously. Go watch an interview. If you don't know about Joe Biden's ability to speak on camera or something, go watch 10 minutes of it. It'll be painful, but you'll understand what I'm talking about. Kamala Harris can string sentences together, but she does this. She literally has no idea what she's talking about. The scary part with Michelle Obama and Gavin Newsom is not only can they talk, these are the two types of people that these are wolves. All right. These are people that are leading you to the slaughterhouse, but they have a unique ability to convince you you're going to paradise. Gavin Newsom is popular throughout the country with Democrats, even some independents, not as popular, I think, as Michelle Obama. And his body of work in California is a train wreck. But he has this unique ability to get on there with that perfect hair and that car salesman smile and convince you he's the right guy for the job and to take your focus off the train wreck and bring it over here somewhere. So these two are dangerous. Good comment. Lord Eagle. She will wipe the backsides clean on all candidates. He's talking about Michelle Obama, including Trump. I agree. And I don't understand how people don't see this. I get it. You know, there are Trump fans out there. I hope the guy wins. You know, I hope he's put back into office or any conservative above Michelle Obama. But again, I don't think conservatives don't understand how dangerous this lady is because, and I know lady, right? So I was getting some hate comments. Actually had some people unsubscribe this morning because I was calling her a lady, but it's YouTube, folks. I got to do what I got to do here on YouTube. So please understand where my head's at and what I'm actually saying. So this lady is dangerous because, again, she has the ability to speak while executing an agenda right in front of your face, and people just aren't aware that it's happening. She appeals to many demographics that Trump cannot reach, voter demographics and things. He's not going to pick up a lot of the minority votes. He's not going to pick up a lot of the younger voters. Michelle Obama owns these areas. She's just a very dangerous candidate, and everybody else for the GOP, everybody on that stage. Look, when you line up, let's say, for example, and God, this would be terrible. Let's say you put Michelle Obama and Nikki Haley as the two choices for the people, right? Who's going to win that debate? Who's going to win the votes there? Nikki Haley's not pulling the votes. All right. Maybe with the conservatives, but again, the conservatives aren't enough to win a fair election. The numbers just aren't there. Conservatives need the people in the middle to swing over, just like they did with the first election Trump was in 2020. The middle shifted over here. They voted for Donald Trump. They didn't really like Hillary Clinton. Nikki Haley's even less liked by the middle. Um, so I agree with that. Briar Patch, the downfall would start on that day. I was just texting shortly ago back and forth with Dynamite, and I told him, you know, this would lead, I think, to civil war, or this would lead to some states finally saying enough's enough, because I think they would realize, conservatives would realize, okay, we didn't just get 4 years of Michelle Obama. We have no candidates that can beat her on the reelection. So we now have 8 years. The GOP at that point would be destroyed. I don't know that you would ever see another GOP candidate get into the White House, because our country would be too far gone, and maybe it already is. But the only option left to play for them would be to try and leave the union. And Dynamite was like, well, look at the flip side. If Michelle Obama runs and she energizes all these young liberals, and then she actually does lose somehow, you're talking about social chaos. I mean, the mostly peaceful protesting, right? It's going to be everywhere. It's going to be breaking up everywhere. So either way, if she's on the ticket, even if you believe she's going to get beat, you're looking at full on SHTF in this country. Again, I don't believe she would be beat, but in case she would be. LG Homestead, why though? Why do they like them? I think she's talking about the Obamas. Because they're idiots, because they are very easy to manipulate. I've seen it firsthand. Okay. If you're new to the channel, please don't hold me at fault for this. But when I was younger, early 20s, I identified it as a Democrat, because I'm like, I'm showing up at the polls. They want to give everybody freedom. I was politically ignorant. I level with y'all like many 20-year-olds, right? And as I got older, and as I had kids and I got married and I started worrying about the future of this country, I became highly conservative at that point, and I understood what was happening in the Democratic Party. But we have a lot of dumb 20, politically ignorant, I should say, 20 somethings out there. And they're not well informed and they don't understand. And so they gravitate toward people that are prolific speakers. They look to their icons like Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift the other night was bragging, I just signed up 30,000 new Democratic voters. It's not that her political stances were great and they said, oh my God, she makes a lot of sense politically. They're looking at Taylor Swift and they're saying, man, she's a musical icon. I'm going to vote the way she votes because now she's qualified somehow. This is how your younger voter base, your liberals. Now, there's some young conservatives out there, but there aren't nearly as many as your younger Democrats, because they've been churned through these indoctrination centers, these 4-year universities, 8-year universities. So, why though? Why do they like them? Because they can get on camera and they can sell ice to Eskimos, so to speak. They're slick on camera and on a microphone. Trump can energize conservatives in the same way. He knows exactly what to say, right? But a lot of your younger people have been trained to hate Trump because, again, the derangement syndrome is real. So any candidate that can get on a microphone as a Democrat and look halfway coherent, they're going to gravitate toward these people. And the Obamas know this. M118LR. Sorry, John, I don't agree. Not at all. Okay. You're entitled to your opinion. Thank you for being respectful about it. I'm just not sure how any of the candidates that were on the debate stage last night are gonna line up against a Michelle Obama ticket. I'm not sure how Trump, quite frankly, is gonna line up against that ticket. I mean, when you take a look at Trump, and again, I hope he wins. All right. I really do. I'm praying for that. But he's facing criminal charges. He came through, he won the White House the first time around because he was divisive. He came in, he told the truth, he was cut and dry about it. He said, "This is what's wrong with our country." And he immediately was he turned on to half the country, and half the country hated him. This was his political strategy, and it worked. Okay, but now we've seen Trump for a while. Now people, even in the middle, I think are getting tired of Trump. They're getting tired of hearing this stuff, and they're looking for a fresh new face or somebody that isn't Joe Biden or Donald Trump. And so I don't know, like, is Mike Pence going to be able to beat Michelle Obama? You know what I'm saying? Is Chris Christie going to be able to beat Michelle Obama? I don't think so. But that's my opinion. Christine Rioch, Biden is the fall guy. Exactly. This is the point Ted Cruz, again, he's trying to warn people. This is the point that he's trying to make. They've already cashed out on Joe Biden. They already know, according to Ted Cruz, this is not the guy. And Ted Cruz is saying Michelle Obama is going to be that person. So Joe Biden, they're going to dump everything on him. And it seems to make sense because Joe Biden has jacked everything up. You know, he can't lie about the inflation. People see it every day. He can't lie about a lot of the things the White House is messed up on. But as Ted Cruz said, you can parachute a Michelle Obama in, who's a slick talker on the microphone, who people already know because her husband was president, right? And she can stand up there and she can say, I have a better plan. I have a different way. And all will be forgiven because she's not really been connected to Joe Biden. You know what I mean? Whereas Kamala Harris even has been connected to Joe Biden. So yeah, he's the fall guy, absolutely. Share Bear, I'm thinking about all of the BS we've put up with already. Will we really put up with that? Sadly, I think so. Uh, and I'll get to another comment here toward the end of the video, but I think so. I don't. I'm with you on that. I don't know why we put up with what we did during the pandemic. I don't know why we put up with what I consider to be obvious fraud during the past election in certain states. Um, but we put up with it, and this is one of the problems conservatives have. There are two actually. All right. Conservative voters are complacent. We seem to be able to put up with anything. We'll complain about it, but we don't actually rise up and do anything about it, which is a problem. And then conservative leadership, the Congress, they don't accomplish anything because they're too busy infighting. And I mean, they don't accomplish anything. They are helping the left out in this country. Even when they have a majority in Congress, they're so busy doing this that nothing actually gets accomplished. Mark Elliott, there's no way anybody could defeat her. I agree. Nobody that we've seen yet. I do think that there maybe is one pair of candidate running and president, and I'll get into that in a few minutes, that would have a shot. But it needs, like, they need to announce this almost immediately, if the GOP has any chance. True Blood 34. Love that show. If this happens, conservatives need to control the House and the Senate. So True Blood 34 is saying, look, if we get this uh, lady as president of the United States, conservatives have to control Congress. It has to be a major majority to minimize the damage. But again, your conservatives are always doing this. So, and I think this is younger, rowdy conservatives coming up saying the people are demanding this, and this is a bunch of your swamp creatures and rhinos who are sitting here that think it's still 1980 and they're just there to line their pockets. You know what I'm saying? VR Lab Girl. This video reminds us why we should prep for SHTF. Yes, ma'am. No matter what the outcome, no matter who becomes president, as Dynamite and I were talking, it's going to be nasty. It's going to be nasty leading up to the election. The aftermath of the election is going to be freaking nasty. Whether we head for some sort of a civil war type of event, whether we see riots all over the place because somehow Michelle Obama got beat, or whoever happens to run, going to be riots everywhere. Think about it. If we get any Democrat, but especially Obama, if we get it 4 more years of Joe Biden, let's just say, it's time. It is time to seriously consider for state governments to consider leaving, because it's not going to, this thing is a train wreck at this point. Forced marriage, shotgun wedding style. But if Trump does win, it's not like you're going to wake up the next morning and the country is going to be kumbaya sitting around a campfire and everybody's going to galvanize and start to get along. No, there's going to be mass chaos. So, yes, absolutely prep for SHTF. And this, again, is going to cover you for any other major event that would happen as well. Great comment, VR Lap Girl. Alice Reese, Trump is going to win hands down. Sorry, John. You don't have to be sorry. That's your opinion. And again, I welcome the opinion. And I pray that Trump does win, but I just don't see how. I don't see where he has the numbers. He was popular enough to do it in 2020. He was in office. He was in office and allowed the government that he was in charge of to steal one. All right. Now he's no longer in charge of that government. The left is. I don't know how he prevents a steal, if it comes down to that. And getting back into the demographics and things, he just doesn't appeal to a lot of young voters. He doesn't appeal to a lot of minorities. He doesn't appeal. I mean, look at all of the illegals that are coming in that are going to be allowed to vote in certain states. They're not going to vote for Trump. This is a huge problem on his part. His voter base, myself included, we're getting older and we're being replaced with people that, again, are 20 something politically ignorant or illegal. So I just don't know how, but you don't have to be sorry for having a different opinion on this channel. It's not a problem. Scott Beto, just another reason to stack guns and ammo. Yes, stack them. Be stacking ammo right now, because getting back to VR Lab Girls deal for a second, getting back to Dynamite's deal for a second, the fallout is going to be buck nasty. And don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but I feel a lot better knowing that I have guns and ammo. Just throwing it out there. Windflower. It's not over until it's over, maybe a convention of states. Anytime you this is what I'm talking about with conservatives. Anytime you mention a convention of states, half the conservatives are on board. They're like, yes, finally, it's time. We need to do this. And then half the conservative base is like, no, it's a trap. This is how they're going to take the Second Amendment away from us. It's time to do something rather than sit around and just argue back and forth about what we need to do. You know what I'm saying? It's gotten to the point. It's kind of sad, actually. It's gotten to the point with conservatives where the house is under attack. You've got attackers outside the home, and we have all the tools necessary to defend the home. We've got melee weapons over here. We've got, your boomsticks over here, all this stuff. And it's like all the conservatives are sitting in the living room arguing. Some want to use the melee weapons. Some want to use the boomsticks. And so because we're constantly arguing, nobody's actually defending the home. And we're just letting it be taken over wholesale. It's ridiculous. Dana Taylor, I can see her winning. There's too much division in the GOP. Exactly. Excellent comment. There's too much division. Why can we not stop sending money to Ukraine? Because the GOP in Congress is doing this. They're fighting with each other instead of coming together, being rational, being conservative, being on the same page and actually doing something. And look, it's not just them, it's conservatives voters. Can't agree. Everybody else's line is in the sand here, here, over here, over here. We've got to put our line in the sand, approximately the same place, and put on a united front and actually do something, in my opinion. I don't even own a 9 millimeter. Said, what do you think of Governor Nome for Trump's VP? Here's the deal. I think Trump stands a remote chance of beating and Obama at the top of the ticket for the left. But Trump needs to, number one, beat the criminal charges that I don't agree should be against him, but they are. I mean, that's just the reality of it. We can argue, should the charges be against him? Should he be investigated? Should there be a gag order? Blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. He has federal charges against him. So, number one, he's got to beat those. Number two, he needs to go ahead and pick a vice president, and he needs to make sure this vice president is a strong vice president, somebody that is going to offset his weaknesses. Okay, somebody that is going to appeal to the minority people that can't stand Trump, somebody that is going to appeal to younger voters, somebody who is conservative but also has the ability to get on the microphone and not be divisive and explain to these people why Trump is the pick, why that card is the pick. And finally, not only does this need to happen very soon, but the GOP, again, they need to stop fighting amongst each other, get behind Trump and his VP pick 1,000%. That's the only chance he has to defeat Michelle Obama on a ticket. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. Finally, backcountry preps said, only one way out of this, folks. Been saying it for years. Fight back or die. Simple as that. Yes, Vaughn at Backcountry Preps has been saying, I can confirm he has been saying this for years. And I agree. It's time to do something. Otherwise, we're just going to be sitting here arguing until there ain't no conservatives left. Simple as that, Vaughn. I understand where you're coming from with that, and the logic itself is as simple as that. It's not very simple to get conservatives on the same page, to get enough people to wake up. If it is, I don't know how to do it. Maybe I just don't have a large enough platform or something, but to get the message out there to conservatives and to say, you know, you need to wake up. There's only one way out of this, fight or die. You understand? Forget about all of the other theatrics and the circus crap that's going on in politics. It's time to rise up, united front, standing shoulder to shoulder, saying no more. And it is very simple. I understand what you're saying, brother. It is very simple when you sit and think about it, but not everybody is awake. Not even all conservatives are awake. They are literally depending on elections to bail them out. They're conservatives who still believe we're going back to pre-pandemic times at some point. They don't understand we're reaching the end of the line here in this country, so to speak. So it's not simple to bring everybody together. Again, if there's a trick to it, I don't know it, or I don't have the reach or the platform. Again, anytime I come on here and I deliver a message like I did this morning saying Michelle Obama is extremely dangerous on a ticket, people get pissed at me like I'm champion for Michelle Obama and they unsubscribe. And it's sad because people would rather unsubscribe and not hear it than they would be to take this to heart and actually stand up and do something about it or to galvanize. But anyway, folks, this has been the rundown. Appreciate y'all being here. Take care and God bless.